Hello and welcome back to the Maker Jane channel, where I share all things English paper piecing, from tips and tutorials to projects and more. So if you love EPP like I do, please consider subscribing. In this video, I'm opening up the Snippet package for the month of February from Cotton Cuts. And Snippet is a monthly subscription for quilting fabric scraps. Perfect for those of us who love English paper piecing. So in this video, I'll be opening the package, showing you what's included in the Snippet subscription, and we'll also be taking a look at the actual fabric that comes with the package. Every month is a little bit different, and I don't think anyone who subscribes gets the same fabric every month. Because they're scraps, they color coordinate them at Cotton Cuts, they stuff bags, and I think they just randomly pick the fabric bags to send out each month. So if you're subscribed to Snippet, your bag for the month of February most likely is not going to be the same fabric that I received for the month of February. But I think it's kind of fun to take a look and see what we got anyway, because it's nice to see the types of fabrics that Cotton Cuts is sending in their packages. If you're new to Snippet and you've never heard of it before, as I said, it's a monthly subscription and it's very cost effective. You end up getting almost 2.5 yards of fabric if it was a continuous cut for only $9 a month. And that includes the shipping and handling. So I think it's a really great deal for those of us who love working with scraps in our quilt projects. So I'll be showing you the types of fabric that we get and also the shape of the scraps that we get. So let's go ahead and get into our Snippet package. I've got my scissors here. I'm just gonna open this baby up. What I love about the Snippet package is it's not just a random bag of scraps. They're actually coordinating scraps. So this is what I'm looking at as I open the bag. I can only see really the one fabric, so I'm really liking what I see so far, little pink flowers. I'm really curious to see what else is in there. But as I was saying, the scraps that come in the bag are coordinating. So if you wanted to make a project with just that month's Snippet package, which again, you've got almost 2.5 yards of fabric, so you could make a small project using only scraps. And because they're coordinating, they're all gonna go together. So let's go ahead and pull this out. Enough talk. I'm gonna show you what else comes in the bag after it's empty, and then we'll get into the fabric. So the first thing we've got are a couple of cards here. This first one is just a nice little sewing related quote. Come with us and we will sew you the world. On the back of this card is just a little thank you message from Cotton Cuts, and gives you a little bit of information about their company, how they provide quality pre-cut fabric for quilters and sewists delivered monthly based on individual preferences. We hand select our fabrics from today's top designers and deliver inspiration. Additionally, a portion of every purchase will help us support a team at a sheltered workshop for disabled individuals. So I really love that as well about Cotton Cuts. They have a really good business model, and their focus and their purpose is to help others who may be less fortunate. The other nice thing about this card is there is a 10% discount. So if you would like to try out the classic or the Modern Maker monthly fabric subscription, you can get 10% off with the code that's on the back of this card. The other card that's in the package is the Cotton Cuts block of the month. So this is the block of the month for February, and it's quite appropriate. Granted, I am filming this in March, so it's a little bit late, but the Snippet package does come at the end of the month, so I would have gotten this late anyway. But they include a block of the month in all of their packages, and it's got all the cutting instructions that you need to make the block, and as well as, a coloring example. You can always choose your own fabrics and your own colors to your heart's content. But on the back of this is their coloring card. So you can take that block and you can play around with different color arrangements. And then if you color it in and submit it on social media with the hashtag CC Color Challenge before the deadline that's posted on the card, you can get a chance to win a prize. So that's real fun. And the last item in the package before we get to the fabric is a pencil. I love Cotton Cuts pencils. I use them all the time when I'm drafting patterns, especially because I do garment sewing as well. So I really like them, and they are sewing related. So on the actual pencil, it's got a little sewing mem, and this one says, "You seam wonderful." So that's it for the goodies that are in the package. Now we're going to get into the fabric, and I am really loving this fabric. What I like about it before we get into it is that they wrap it in plastic so that if by chance it gets wet in the post, the package gets wet, the fabric will not get wet because it's in plastic. And the sticker is also restickable, so if you'd like to keep your scraps in the bags they come in, you can open it and then just reseal it. Now, over time, I've had some of these stickers lose their sticky, but if it's a temporary storage solution, then they work pretty good. So you've seen what we have in the fabric. I'm just going to start kind of pulling out the clumps of fabric as they come out of the bag and show you. So there are 2 colorways so far. This one looks like the same one as the one I pulled out first. Then we have some more of this greenish blue, and it looks like another one of these, and the bag is empty. So this particular snippet package is a little bit different than the past snippet packages I've received because this really only has 2 types of fabric. It's only 2 fabrics. There's quite a bit of fabric, but there's only 2 types. And I've had packages that have given me, gosh, 8 different types of fabric at a time. So again, it just depends on the bag. It depends on the month. What's nice about the snippet package is because they're scraps, you can just start collecting them. And over time, if you have a scrap fabric organization system, which I'm currently working on because I realize I have all these scraps and now I have to figure out what I'm going to do with them and how to organize them. So I'm planning a future video in the future to show you how I'm organizing all these scraps. But you get these different scraps and you can set them aside until you have scraps that would have coordinating colors with this, or you could pull from your stash, of course, to use with your scrap package, your snippet, and then create a project that way. So this is the first fabric that I pulled out, and it's beautiful. It's got this taupe background, kind of a cream taupe background with green leaves and pink flowers. Really pretty. I really love this fabric. This piece is doubled over on itself. So this is a fold here. And if I open it up, it stretches out this far, and this is doubled over on itself. So this is with the fabric folded over on itself, just like if you were to get it off the bolt. And that's how they cut it. I think they actually cut it folded this way. And you can see that it's die cut. So the sections that are cut out are part of Cotton Cut's puzzle mystery quilts. And check out Cotton Cut's website for more information about their puzzle mystery quilt. But every year they run a mystery quilt project, and these scraps are the leftovers from those cuts that they make. And they pre-cut all of the pieces for the mystery quilts and send them out every month. And then the scraps left over are what they use to create their snippet package. So I have one of those, I have another one of those, and a lot of that fabric. One thing I want to point out about this fabric, and I'll just pick up this first piece I showed you, is you may have noticed already, but there are lots of strips. And then there's also these triangle pieces here. I like the triangle pieces, especially for English paper piecing, because you can use larger pieces. Like this would be a great piece for hexagons or maybe even a jewel. The strips work well for English paper piecing if your English paper pieces are small enough to fit within that strip. So if you're working with pieces that are maybe a 1/2 inch or smaller, if you like working with really small English paper piecing, which I haven't quite done yet, the strips would work really well for that. And because there is this fold, you do get some wider strips as well. So I would say this is over 2 inches. And this would work for larger English paper pieces like hexagons, maybe jewels. And you just have to kind of play with it as you look at your fabric, as you get it pressed and organize it and cut it into the sections and pieces that you want to use. You can organize it by size if you want to, and organize your skinnier strips with your skinnier strips and your wider strips with your wider strips, and then these triangle pieces separately as well, if that's what you want to do. There's many ways to organize fabric, so that's just a couple ideas. Anyway, the second fabric that came in the package is the same print, but a different colorway. So now we are looking at kind of a turquoise background with the leaves look green still. They might be a little bit more of a, they're a little bit more of an aqua green. And there are pink flowers, but this just has a lot more turquoise in it, or aqua green if you want to call it that. And again, we are getting strips and we have some triangles. So I really like the pieces that have both. There have been past snippets that I've received that only have strips, and I was a little disappointed because I was wanting to use these larger triangle pieces for my larger English paper piecing. And as I said, I don't really use very small English paper pieces yet. So I really covet these larger scrap pieces. But again, the strips, you don't have to just use them for English paper piecing. If you like other quilting techniques, such as crumb quilting or strip piecing, I actually did use one of my Snippet packages for an improv quilt that I made. I did hexagons, English paper pieced, and then I appliqued those onto a background of the block that I had strip pieced using my Snippet strips. So I've got 3 bundles of those, same size, and a bundle is just one of these balled up. Okay, so there's 3 of those, and there is a lot of the cream fabric. So putting these together, this is just on a side note, putting these together, I don't know if I would actually use these 2 fabrics in the same quilt. Personally, I think they need some blenders in between to connect them a little bit, to give them something in common. Maybe a fabric that has both this color and maybe some pink in it to kind of pull these 2 fabrics together. That's just my personal taste and my personal opinion. You might see these 2 fabrics and say, yes, I'm going to make a project with them, and they don't need anything. They go fine together, just fine. And that's totally cool. If that's your taste, great. You could probably make a project with just the scraps that came in this Snippet package. But again, if you subscribe to Snippet, just keep in mind that you probably will not be getting the same types of fabrics or the same exact fabrics that I show you here on my channel. And if anyone else is out there recording videos about the Snippet package, theirs are probably different as well. So even though the Snippet package comes with coordinating fabrics, in my personal opinion, these 2 fabrics aren't as coordinating as I would like them to be. So keep that in mind as well. You may need to add in some fabrics from your stash to use your scraps. And that's fine. You can do whatever you want with your scraps. And that's the fun of quilting, is we can be creative and make unique things with the fabric that we have in our stash. So Snippet is one way of adding to your scrap stash if you love scraps. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. And let me know if you like this by giving me a thumbs up in the button down below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep on stitching.